What if Samsung's next Ultra phone had a huge battery, but at the cost of one of its most iconic features? That might actually be happening. The S Pen, which has been a signature part of the Galaxy Ultra experience, could be getting kicked out of the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and the reason might surprise you. Let's rewind for a second. When the Galaxy S25 Ultra launched, a lot of users were disappointed to see the same 5000 mAh battery again. It's been years since Samsung made any real upgrade to the battery capacity on its Ultra models. With every new release, people expect something better, and now it looks like Samsung is finally thinking about doing something different. According to new leaks, Samsung might be planning to remove the S Pen's built-in storage slot in the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Why? To make more room inside the phone. If that space isn't used to hold the stylus, it could open the door for a bigger battery. And we're not talking about just a small jump in size. Reports suggest that without the S Pen silo, Samsung could fit in a battery as big as 7000 mAh if they switched to newer silicon carbon battery technology. That would be a massive upgrade. For context, some Chinese phones are already aiming for 8000 mAh batteries using the same battery tech, so Samsung could be looking to catch up in that department. But it also means the S Pen might no longer have a home inside the phone. So what happens to the S Pen? It's possible that Samsung will redesign it to attach magnetically to the outside of the phone. Think about how Apple does it with the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro. You just snap it onto the side and it sticks there. Some users might love the convenience, while others might worry about losing it more easily. And that's not the only big change coming. There are also whispers that Samsung could use a new camera setup. One leak claims the main rear camera on the S26 Ultra might come with a variable aperture. If that happens, Samsung might remove one of the two telephoto lenses. That could also help free up space inside for that larger battery. On top of that, leak renders suggest the S26 Ultra might have thinner bezels than the current Galaxy S25 Ultra. However, don't expect Samsung to switch to an under-display camera just yet. According to the same source, the front-facing camera will still be in a punch-hole design. As for the rest of the specs, we're expecting some usual upgrades. The Galaxy S26 Ultra should be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 chip Galaxy customization. This chip will be used for all models in the United States, China, and Canada. In other countries, Samsung is likely to go with its own Exynos 2600 chip for the rest of the Galaxy S26 series. The Galaxy S25 Edge was supposed to launch in April, but out of nowhere, that plan changed. Now, we've got a new release date and some interesting details to go with it. So, what's behind the delay, and is this phone still something worth getting excited about? Let's talk about everything we know so far, but before we get into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates on upcoming smartphones. Just a day ago, reports were saying the April 15th launch wasn't happening anymore. At that point, no one really knew why. But now, a new leak says Samsung is setting a new date, Tuesday, May 13, 2025. That's just about a month later than expected. Not a huge wait, but the reason behind the change is still a bit of a mystery. From what the report says, the delay doesn't seem to be caused by any hardware problems or production issues. Instead, it may be related to changes within Samsung's top management. One possible reason is the recent passing of Zhonghee Han, who was in charge of Samsung's mobile and electronics division. It's possible that some internal shifts after his passing caused the timeline to move around a bit. Now, unlike the big event Samsung held back in January for the main Galaxy S25 series, the S25 Edge will be launching in a more quiet way. The company is expected to reveal the phone through an online-only event. That might not be the flashy reveal some fans were hoping for, but it does follow Samsung's recent pattern of spreading its launches out across the year. So what is the Galaxy S25 Edge and what's it offering? Based on leaks, this phone will have a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED screen with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. It will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 processor, also being referred to as Snapdragon 8 Elite. It's expected to come with 12 GB of RAM and either 256 or 512 GB of internal storage. Like recent Samsung phones, there's no microSD card slot. The battery is said to be around 3,900 mAh with support for 25-watt fast charging. As for the cameras, the main one might be a 200-megapixel sensor paired with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. In terms of colors, we may see it come in titanium silver, titanium jet black, and titanium icy blue. The expected price is around 1,249 euros, which converts to about 1,355 US dollars. With these specs, the S25 Edge seems to be positioned somewhere between the regular Galaxy S25 and the S25 Ultra. It's not as large or camera heavy as the Ultra, but it's clearly more premium than the base and Plus models. What makes this phone really stand out is the design. Rumors say it could be Samsung's thinnest flagship phone ever, possibly less than 6 mm thick. That would make it slimmer than the upcoming iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it might attract users who really care about how their phone feels in the hand and how it looks. Of course, going for a thinner design often means making sacrifices elsewhere. In this case, the battery might be that trade-off. A 3900 mAh battery is smaller than what we usually see in high-end phones today. What if the next update for your Galaxy S25 could do more than just improve security? Well, that might be exactly what Samsung has planned. According to a new leak, the upcoming software update for the Galaxy S25 series won't be your usual monthly patch. It'll bring some extra polish to your phone's everyday experience. Let's break it down, but before we do, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more updates on the Galaxy lineup and other new tech. It's been a couple of months since Samsung launched the Galaxy S25, and like always, the company has been rolling out updates to improve performance, fix bugs, and keep devices secure. But this time, it looks like the April 2025 update is going to offer something a little more noticeable. According to tipster at TerumVets33, Samsung is adding more features from One UI 7.0 in this update, not just fixing security issues. And if you've been using the Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, or S25 Ultra, you'll likely see some visible changes. One of the main highlights is an updated charging animation. It's something small, but it's one of those details you notice every time you plug in your phone. When One UI 7.0 first launched, Samsung introduced a new charging animation that appeared both in the status bar and on the lock screen. But if you've been using a Galaxy S25, you probably noticed that it hasn't been running very smoothly. Some users even called it choppy. That's because the animation wasn't fully optimized on the S25 series yet. But this new update is expected to fix that and make the charging animation flow better and feel more polished. Alongside that, there's also talk of improvements to the Now bar, the animation that shows up in the status bar when media is playing. It's a small touch, but it adds to the overall user experience, especially when you're listening to music or watching videos. The transitions are expected to be smoother, making everything feel more fluid. But it's not just visual changes. The update is also expected to fix a couple of bugs that have been affecting Galaxy S25 users. Specifically, some people have noticed issues with the quick settings panel, like when toggling location or mobile data. These glitches can be annoying, especially if you rely on those shortcuts daily. The good news is those bugs are reportedly being addressed in this upcoming patch. Meanwhile, the April 2025 security patch has already rolled out to some other Samsung devices, including the Galaxy Z Flip 6 and the Galaxy Z Fold 6, both of which are currently testing One UI 7.0 in beta. That means it won't be long before the Galaxy S25 series gets the update as well. Samsung has been known for supporting its flagship devices with long-term software updates, but it's nice to see that the company is still working to polish the little things that matter most to users. Charging animations, smoother transitions, and fixing annoying bugs might not sound exciting, but they do make your phone feel faster and more enjoyable to use every day. If you just picked up a Galaxy S25, these small changes could make a big difference in how the phone feels a few months after launch. And if this is just the start, we might see even more One UI 7.0 features roll out gradually in future updates. So keep an eye out for that April update. It's not just about security this time. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed any issues on your S25 and what you're hoping this update will fix or improve. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for the latest news on Samsung devices. I'll see you in the next video.